Every once in a while, a movie comes out that feels like it's trying to bring back something that we don't really get to see as much anymore. Not just big sci fi, but idea driven sci fi. The kind of movie that wants to be smart, emotional, and still entertaining at the same time. And Project Hail Mary is very clearly aiming for that space. It's got the scale, it's got the concept, and it's got a performance at the center that basically has to carry the whole thing. The question is, does it actually land, or is it just another version of something we've already seen before in the space genre? Today we're breaking that all down on the first episode of a new release with my good friend and guest host, Brendan Tierney.
I have seen Project Hail Mary, and I'm gonna sound crazy for saying this, but this is already one of the best movies of the entire year.
How can Lord and Miller adapt something so beloved? I don't know, but they did it.
I was highly anticipating this film, and what did I think? I thought it was fantastic.
So yeah, I gotta say, Project Hail Mary, it definitely lived up to the very high praise it's getting.
A new release with Tierno Ranchero. Here we are, Project Hail Mary. So what were your expectations going in, and did you read the book or did you go in blind?
So I went in pretty blind.
Yeah.
I didn't really have many expectations going in, aside just from everyone saying it was really good, seeing the good reviews on Letterboxd and such. Honestly, when I first saw like the trailer and poster, kind of months before it came out, I thought it was a straight to Netflix movie.
Oh,
I can't lie. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I just looked at it and I like the artwork for it. I don't know. I kind of found it cheesy, so I kind of put it on the back burner as a movie that maybe I'd watch once it was released onto streaming.
Right.
But then turns out it was fantastic.
It was great. Yeah.
Could be one of my favorite movies of the year. We'll see.
As you know, it's up there for me as well. I didn't read the book, but we had a friend that read the book, and it was pretty cool to see him coming out of the theaters and be like, "Oh, that literally was kind of exactly what the book was, or kind of exactly what I was expecting." Because I feel like you don't always get that. Ryan Gosling plays Ryland Grace, if you don't know the film, a scientist who wakes up alone on a spaceship with no memory, and he slowly tries to piece together who he is, why he's there, and what's actually at stake, which the audience is trying to piece together throughout the whole film. And you kind of have to come to your own conclusions early on, because you're trying to predict what's going to happen. And it's kind of a story about isolation and what it means to be human and all the things that come with a dystopian world. So it was based on the novel by Andy Weir, and was directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, which we've talked about as well. Very interesting filmography, not what I would have expected.
Big switch up.
Yeah. What stood out to you about the film immediately? Like, what did you go, oh wow, this is why I like this film so much?
I thought for like as dire as the consequences were in the movie, they're able to still keep it like pretty lighthearted.
Yeah.
Like civilization's gonna end, if they didn't figure out like the issue going on in space, and they still made it like, comedy, and there was a love element to it, like this friendship developing, and you got to watch it live in hand. The whole story in general, it tugged on a bunch of different emotions that some movies don't, and I thought it was very multifaceted and not one-dimensional, which was pretty cool.
And as we just were discussing before we got on air, I just reviewed with Keeping Up with Indies Half Nelson, which is an amazing Ryan Gosling performance, and not something that you would have expected from him, especially now, but it's funny seeing a film 20 years ago compared to the film we just watched, because I feel like this is an equally as impressive performance by him. As we mentioned, he has a fuck ton of dialogue, and he kind of keeps you engaged the whole time.
Yeah, I was wondering, and I wish I could look more into it, and probably will eventually, but what it looked like when he was filming, because like the classic pictures of Michael Jordan when he was shooting Space Jam and he's just in a room by himself. Like for Ryan Gosling to be able to like pull off such a great performance like he did, and be so entertaining and funny, and I think that's his best role of his career, for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
I wonder how he got into that zone. Was there somebody like playing Rocky in mocap or something?
Yeah, no, it's totally a great question. And
I feel like it's very impressive how he's able to lock in, and it's probably not, probably an interesting setup film-wise.
Absolutely, and I feel like we so often talk about, like, especially in the media,
like when an actor locks in and for like a serious role, like, you know, like when Bradley Cooper, you know, learned how to conduct an orchestra for like 7 years. I find this one particularly interesting because even thinking about just 2 years ago when he did Barbie, he had mentioned that because he has a wife and because he has kids now, he's looking to do more positive, like, you know, optimistic films and stories. And at first I thought, okay, that's a little cheesy. And then he does Barbie because it's like, okay.
Yeah.
And, you know, Barbie wasn't really made for me. I think it's great. But this film, it really kind of is like a film for everyone. And I feel like it's one of those films that's bringing younger families back into the theaters as well.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like I feel like there is, you know, some humor that younger kids probably shouldn't be in the theater for, but I feel like it just, yeah, it can be enjoyed by all ages, which also doesn't really happen as much
It's true.
these days.
It's true. It's hard to find a film like that. Did the mystery structure work for you? Like you not knowing?
Like playing, like working in reverse, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always love those movies.
Yeah.
Like kind of like Memento.
Right.
Like I like kind of finding, like you're placed somewhere, you get the flashbacks, and you kind of try to piece it together. Those like honestly might be my favorite movies. I don't know. There's probably some exact term for that type of mystery, but yeah, I thought it was great. Yeah, and I thought it was done really well. That
Right. And as we talked about, I mean, when they go to the flashbacks and they kind of create that interesting relationship between him and her, and it works, and they use it throughout the whole film, and you really kind of get the dichotomy of Ryan Gosling's performance of like, you know, he's talking to an alien rock and he's in space and he's kind of cool, but also he's like this nerdy middle school teacher.
Yeah.
You know, going into the film, did you expect a more downtrodden, like sort of space film, like a Martian or an Interstellar?
To be quite honest, like just from like looking at reviews going in, I knew it was gonna be more like lighthearted, and I had heard it was pretty funny.
Right.
So I kind of had that expectation going in. I didn't know like which direction it was gonna go in humor wise. I thought I knew it was gonna be more lighthearted, but I didn't know about Rocky or any of that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was like a great twist for someone who goes into the movie not knowing. Like it definitely adds such like a light element to it.
Right.
And kind of like I was talking about how like the stakes were so dire in that movie. It really like lightens everything up and kind of makes you forget like, oh, they're here to try to save their worlds individually. Like
Totally.
I don't know, it's like you're kind of just watching them blossom into such a cool little friendship.
Yeah, and you're also, I think, asking, while you're doing that, seeing that great friendship, in the same time, this is really the question of the film. Is he going to be able to save humanity, and is he going to go home?
Yeah.
Like, that's really, like, I was just kind of wondering the whole time, is he ever going to return to Earth? And I kind of like that he didn't. But yeah, also just looking at the numbers, which I like to do, 30.6% of total gross. The inflated adjusted domestic box office is over 262 million. I mean, this is like an incredibly successful film, especially in 2026.
Yeah, and I know the book obviously had large popularity, but I feel like it wasn't widespread as like most book adaptation movies are nowadays. And so many are like franchised as well.
Right.
So I think that's super impressive. I think that also plays into what we were talking about, how like it can be enjoyed by all ages.
Yeah.
So, more people going to the movie, like, more families going to the movies,
it's
more money
the
to the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good things. Did you feel like this was like a visually unique or stunning film? Is that one of the things as well you don't want to like let go before we end this? Like,
yeah, definitely. Yeah. I thought what was unique about it was that like I feel like they weren't like trying to overly put some of these shots into your face, and like that's not saying that it kind of one-ups the plot, because I don't think it does, but I think they're able to show really beautiful shots while kind of keeping it plot driven. And I thought that was something that's really unique about it. Like,
totally.
I feel like every few minutes I'd see a shot that I'd be like, wow, like that's incredible, but like I wasn't even looking for that, like I was so focused on what was actually happening in the movie that I wasn't really thinking about like these crazy shots and angles. Like,
right. And as we touched on earlier, I was a little bit skeptical in a good way, but like these guys got a funky filmography.
Yeah.
Like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, the 2 Jump Street movies,
Lego movie.
Yeah. Like it's not
the tone of the film fits their filmography like 100%, which is interesting. But it doesn't like feel like Nolan, but some of the shots feel like an epic.
Yeah.
And it is a little bit of an epic.
Mhm.
It's a film that I definitely think should be watched in theaters.
I wonder, and I don't know this, maybe you do, but if they were like fans of the book before they made it.
I think they were fans of the book.
Mhm.
I want to read into that more, but I'd imagine that this was something that they'd wanted to make for a while.
That's neat.
Yeah. Do you feel this movie takes enough risks?
I think it does.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to, when it's not an original screenplay and like there's source material. I feel like you can't. It's harder, of course, to take risks, but I feel like it really does, and I think that goes back to what our friend Trey was saying, who had read the book. He was like, it was so much of it was like so close to or even cooler than what I pictured in my head while reading. And I think that is super unique because I was thinking about books that I have read and then I go see the movies. I kind of already had a vague idea of what the movie is. Like when I was younger, I read the Harry Potters. Those movies had already been out.
Yeah.
Like Hunger Games. Those movies had already been out by the time I read those books. Same with the Lord of the Rings. So like I already kind of knew what it was going to look like going in. So as I'm like reading and imagining things in my head, I'm kind of imagining, Daniel Radcliffe, like Jennifer Lawrence. I think for a new movie to come out and he didn't have anything to base those images in his head off of, and it kind of matches up. I think that's like really unique and really cool.
That's kind of, I think, what you often want from, especially that kind of art transition of book to film, which is so common as we've been saying. Do you feel the film is more about spectacle, or do you think it's really about human connection in this way, where we were really only focusing on one guy, but it is about that,
I think what I took away is the human connection aspect, and I think that's why in the end he does wind up staying with Rocky. I think like that's why it was so dialogue heavy, and it's like, I don't know, the whole movie is just those two guys in the ship together, like forming that bond, and I thought it was really cool. I thought the whole setup of how he was able to like break down their languages and they created like their common tongue sort of was super neat.
One other thing to mention too, that I feel like it's such a classic stereotype in space films, and I'm glad this strays away from it, is that the alien or extraterrestrial life form is gonna immediately want to kill you.
Yeah.
It's cool that it's like, what if it's just like a rock?
Yeah.
And it has its own language and it's chill.
Yeah.
Like, I liked that a lot. So final thoughts. Maybe, one thing that you felt that really worked, anything that you felt didn't, a rating, and then maybe, will people still talk about this in 5 years?
Yeah, so I'd say final rating, if I'm doing it on the Letterboxd scale, I think I gave it a 4.5. I just thought it did so many things right.
Yeah.
I really don't have any notes on it. Like I feel like it was just such a fun movie experience. I'd say for a movie that I wasn't really anticipating with excitement leading up towards, I feel like it like knocked it out of the park. And I feel like that sometimes can make a movie even better when you don't really have any expectations and you don't really know what you're going in to see. When it winds up, really hitting a sweet spot for you, like it almost becomes a perfect movie because I wasn't looking for anything negative going in,
Yeah, no, totally.
I think it will be talked about in 5 years. We'll see how it goes because 2026 there's a lot of great releases coming out.
Yes,
absolutely. I think if it can pull away with a couple awards come Oscar time, I mean, it does stink that it was released like right after the Oscars. But I think if it can pull away with some awards, that will only add on to the legacy.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think people would still be talking about this in 5 years. Rating, I gave it a 4. It's not like my necessarily type of film, but I had such a great experience, and I really liked it as well.
I haven't heard any of my friends or honestly, even online reading reviews, I haven't heard like one real negative thing about it.
Yeah,
which I think is awesome.
No, I think this is a film that, if you haven't seen it yet, I would go to theaters right now because it's been in theaters for a while now. And it was a great film to do the new release on, the first episode of this segment on Beneath the Bloom. Next episode we will do on the drama, which we were both really excited for.
Gonna go see it tonight, right after this recording.
Going to see it tonight. Awesome. Perfect.
Thanks for having me, Ben.
Of course.